For years, people online have been asking whether the legendary King Kylie era could ever return. It was bold, it was rebellious, and it helped shape a huge piece of 2010's internet culture. But lately, fans have been debating whether Kylie Jenner's recent attempts to bring that era back feel like a comeback, or a moment that just isn't landing. Today, we're breaking down why the King Kylie revival is sparking so much discussion, why audiences are reacting the way they are, and whether the internet has simply moved on. And trust me, the reveal we get to at the end will make you rethink this entire era. So let's get into it. People who were online during the height of early YouTube beauty culture and classic Instagram aesthetics know exactly how powerful the King Kylie era once was. It wasn't just a trend. At the time, it felt like an entire movement. Kylie stood out from her family because she didn't fully participate in the polished, ultra-glam aesthetic her sisters pushed. Instead, she leaned into colored wigs, heavy makeup, bold selfies, Tumblr core vibes, and a kind of confidence that resonated with millions of young fans who were also experimenting with their identities. It was chaotic, creative, and unexpected. For many, it felt authentic. That era also coincided with the birth of the Kylie lip kits, which became a massive cultural moment. People remember the frenzy. The drops selling out instantly, the website crashing, the makeup tutorials, the reviews, the recreations, the controversy, the obsession. Whether someone was a fan or not, the King Kylie era was difficult to ignore. But fast forward to today, and conversations online have dramatically shifted. The Kardashian-Jenner dynasty overall has been facing decreasing engagement, ongoing criticism, and the kind of public fatigue that happens when a celebrity family has been at the center of pop culture for over a decade. On social media, commenters have been expressing that the family's influence feels different now compared to their peak years. And when Kylie attempted to revisit the King Kylie aesthetic, many viewers didn't feel the same energy they once did. This brings us to the first major chapter of today's video. The attempted comeback. Over the last year, Kylie has posted looks and styles that clearly reference her original King Kylie era. But online, people immediately noticed that something about the revival didn't match their memories. Some fans said it felt minimal or incomplete. Others said it appeared rushed, or that the styling didn't capture the intensity and creativity of the original era. There were discussions about whether the makeup, hair, fashion, and general vibe were fully committed, or whether it was more of a light nod to the past rather than a true recreation. This led to the second chapter of the conversation. The fan reaction. TikTok, Instagram, Reddit, and YouTube have all been full of discussions, theories, and speculation. Some fans said they loved the nostalgia, loved seeing Kylie embrace a look from her past, and wanted more. Others felt the opposite, saying that the revival didn't feel natural. A number of creators have shared opinions about why the comeback might not feel the same, including shifting cultural trends, changes in the beauty industry, and the fact that audiences have grown up and now expect something different from influencers. Here's a question for you. Do you think Kylie's original era was something that could ever be recreated? Or was it something that only worked because of the specific moment in internet culture when it happened? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear where you stand. But the conversations didn't stop there. Online discussions started going deeper, asking whether the King Kylie era can exist in 2025 at all. And that brings us into the third chapter of today's video. The cultural context. A huge amount of commentary online, especially from creators of color, has analyzed the aesthetics and influences behind the original King Kylie era. Many of these creators point out that the 2010s saw a huge rise in mainstream trends that borrowed from Black cultural styles, beauty trends, and fashion. They argue that some of Kylie's looks at the time fit into that larger trend. Others argue that Kylie's styling was part of a general 2010s aesthetic rather than something intentionally tied to specific communities. These are ongoing conversations happening across TikTok and YouTube, and they are part of why some people feel the King Kylie aesthetic can't be revived in the same way today. No matter where people stand on the topic, one thing is clear: the cultural environment around certain aesthetics has changed dramatically. Online audiences are quicker to critique, question, and analyze celebrity branding. What once went unquestioned in the early 2010s is now part of a much larger conversation about influence, originality, and representation. So here's another question for you. Do you think the internet today is too critical of celebrity aesthetics, or do you think this level of discussion is healthy and necessary? Drop your thoughts below. As these discussions kept growing, fans also pointed out that Kylie's career looks different now. Instead of focusing on one major product line like she did during the original lip kit era, she now has multiple brands: beauty, fragrance, drinks, clothing, and more. This creates a totally different environment, especially when the market is oversaturated and audiences are more selective than they used to be. For many viewers, this diluted the impact of the comeback. And that leads us into the next major chapter: the role of social media evolution. During the original King Kylie moment, social media platforms were simpler. Instagram was chronological, Snapchat was booming, TikTok didn't exist. YouTube beauty culture was dominated by gurus creating long, aesthetic-heavy content. The entire attention economy was different. But now, trends move fast. Audiences are constantly exposed to new influencers, new aesthetics, and new micro-movements that appear and disappear within weeks. The nostalgic hype that once made the lip kits massive is harder to recreate today because the landscape has changed. Many fans say the King Kylie revival didn't have the shock factor or freshness it once did, not because Kylie changed, but because the internet changed. And finally, the last major chapter. The bigger question: was the King Kylie comeback ever really meant to succeed, or was it simply impossible from the start? Some fans believe Kylie is simply experimenting with her style and having fun referencing an old aesthetic. Others believe she was genuinely trying to start a comeback and it didn't work because the era didn't fit the present cultural moment. Some think the internet has moved on and will never engage with celebrity branding in the same way again. Others think Kylie could absolutely revive the era if she fully committed in a more detailed or consistent way. No matter what, one thing is true: this conversation shows just how much influence the original King Kylie era had. People are still talking about it, still breaking it down, still comparing today's social media environment to the past. Whether the comeback worked or not, it proves that the original era made a massive impact on pop culture. But here's the big twist I promised you at the beginning. The King Kylie comeback might not actually be over. A lot of fans believe this first attempt was just a soft launch, a warm-up. They think Kylie may be planning a bigger, more dramatic, fully styled revival in the future, especially as nostalgia cycles continue to dominate fashion and beauty trends. And with the rise of 2010s nostalgia, Tumblr core returns, and early internet aesthetics, it's possible that an even stronger revival could appear down the line. So now I want to know: do you think Kylie will eventually pull off a true King Kylie comeback? Or is this one era that's better left in the past? Let's talk about it in the comments. I always read your takes, and the debates on this topic are always wild. And before you go, if you love deep dives into celebrity culture, internet history, beauty trends, or influencer drama, make sure you stay here on Celeb Juices. I've got a ton of videos breaking down the biggest pop culture shifts, rising trends, and celebrity storylines that everyone is talking about. So hit that like button, subscribe, share this video, and keep watching, because the next video we've got dropping is even juicier.